Oh well, maybe for 100 we'll do that.
Maybe, yeah.
We got to do something special for 100. It used to be we'd do a video for something special, but now that we've just gone full video, where the hell do you take that?
We have to go back to just audio.
Just audio, then that will be special. Ooh. Or hey, you're a wizard with editing, Matt. You can get like one of those 3D filters and put it over, and we can call this, the 3D episode.
Then the next step will be for us to like do some like podcast in VR or something.
Oh shit, where you're actually in the room with us.
Yeah.
That would actually be pretty good technology because Matt and I have never been in the same room to record anything, so that would be nice.
Yeah, it would be.
We're only separated by like half the world.
Yeah, very small, but still.
Yeah. It's hard to believe, Matt. We've known each other for like how long? 5, 6 years now, and yet we've never actually met in person.
Yeah, we've known each other, I think, for about 7 years.
Give or take. That's pretty impressive. Matt and I have been carrying on the longest long distance relationship of anybody. Take that, all you other long distance relationship people. We have you beat. We can wear that one. Again, I keep saying, if there was ever a reason for him to come to Canada or me to go to Australia, which I think I might just like to at one point, but that's a pretty goddamn big trip. Like we said, it's only half the world.
Yeah, it's not, an hour's trip.
No, it's really not. I'm trying to think what's the furthest I travel. I guess when I go to Victoria every so often, that's more or less the other end of the country, or at least just the other end of my country, but still.
Yeah, I haven't really been out of the country at all.
Yeah. You'd like Canada. It's cold this time of year. Very cold.
Good, because it's just become summer here.
Yeah. After one of the weirdest Octobers in terms of weather I think we've ever had in Canada. But hey, we're not a weather podcast. We're a comic book podcast, and we have some rather interesting topics to dig on into this week. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh boy, do we ever.
So perhaps the biggest piece of news coming out this week is that they finally cast Shazam for the big Shazam movie that may or may not be in continuity with the other DC movies. In fact, no DC movie might be in continuity anymore because they just want to throw out a bunch of ones now because, hey, why not?
And it may or may not star The Rock as Black Adam.
Yeah, it may or may not star The Rock, even though they cast The Rock as Black Adam before Shazam in one of the few rare instances where they did cast the villain before the hero because they knew the villain would be more popular because The Rock really wanted to play it and they really wanted to tap The Rock for something.
The Rock's been cast for like years. I think he got cast
Yes.
before even like Ben Affleck was Batman.
Yeah, he's been attached to the project for that long. Does that not just sound like back-assward filmmaking? And then they're like,
Yeah.
well, maybe we'll give Black Adam a prequel movie before we actually do Shazam.
Yeah, or he might be the villain in the next Superman film or something.
We don't know. We don't know anything.
No, we don't.
But yeah, we finally got our Shazam, and it's Zachary Levi, that dude from that show I never watched, Chuck.
You never watched Chuck?
I never watched Chuck. I know it was a big thing within our peer group for a couple years there, but no, I never actually watched Chuck.
I really enjoyed Chuck. I thought it was a really great show. It was before all those other geek type shows came around, so it was like the forerunner.
Right, I think that one kind of fell in the white noise for me. Has he done anything else I would have seen, Zachary Levi? Because I know he was the Chuck guy.
He took over as Fandral in the Thor films.
Right.
And he just finished them up in Ragnarok.
Right, he was the replacement one. That's right. That was such a subtle change, most people didn't even notice.
Yeah. No one
Oh,
knows.
and he's the voice of Eugene in Tangled, so that's something I did actually see him in. He was fun in that.
Yeah, he's just been kind of hanging around.
Yeah, hanging around doing stuff. He's been on Robot Chicken. Yeah, he's been in stuff. He's been in things.
Yeah, and it's good casting. I'm glad they didn't let any fans choose it because fans just wanted some big wrestler or someone like John Cena or something in the role.
Cena was very much attached to that.
Yeah, which I don't think would have been good. At least they actually got an actual actor.
Yeah, let's take an actor and get him to work out instead of getting a guy who works out and teaching him how to act.
Now they're not pulling like a fast one on us and saying he's cast in Shazam, but he's playing like Billy Batson.
See, that's what I thought too. I'm like, have they confirmed that? Because like that could easily be a swerve. You're right. It could be like, oh, he's little Billy Batson, but he's not a kid.
He's like a 30-year-old man. Are they going to do the grimdark? He's a washed-up hero, kind of like that. Kind of like what they had him in that DC House of Horror this week.
Oh, see, I didn't read that either this week, but I heard interesting things from you mainly.
Yeah.
Man, I would actually kind of like that if Zachary Levi, this 30-year-old man, just plays a child.
He's this big man child.
Just a big man child. If it'll be like Tom Hanks in Big, he just goes around like, I'm a little boy. No, you're not. You're a weirdo.
He's one of those weirdos that are like 40, 30-year-old people who wear like diapers and like children's clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah, he'll be one of those guys. He'll be touring the fetish circuit, but he's also a superhero. Hey, you laugh, but this is a DC Warner Brothers movie, so that's very possible. Next to a Superman who breaks people's necks and a Batman who uses guns, weird diaper fetishist Shazam is totally, within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing as well, the movie apparently starts shooting in about 3 months.
Really?
So he's got 3 months to build it. I don't know whether you've seen the guy. But
I've seen him.
He's very, very lanky and skinny.
A little bit. So. Not only have I seen him, but have you heard that he's actually already been stirring up a little controversy on Instagram with a statement that he made?
Oh, God, what now?
He said, I'm really happy to play the first and original Captain Marvel. It's like, don't muddy those waters right now. Marvel and DC fans don't need another reason to fight. Please don't start saying that.
He's probably just mad Marvel killed his character off in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh fuck, really?
Yeah.
Dude, it's not out here yet. Come on. Motherfucker. Send all your hate mail to Matt, and I will send hate mail to Matt, because I'm hearing this for the first time, too.
He's one of the Warriors 3. No one cares about him.
That's fair. I'm not that mad. It's not like, oh yeah, and then like fucking Thor dies or some shit. No, he's one of the Warriors 3.
Well, now that you say that...
Hey, at least they didn't kill Ray Stevenson. I'm okay with that.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Oh fuck! God, see, here's the thing: movie doesn't come out for a week here, so for all I know, Matt is lying to me. I don't know, and I won't know.
You won't ever know.
God damn it! This is horrible. But yeah, so that's Levi as Shazam in a movie that will be coming sooner than we think, I guess.
Yeah, and it might be in continuity, it might not be. We don't know.
Oh, we'll be talking a lot about that on this episode, Matt. Don't you worry. There's a couple more stories that we'll talk about just that.
Yes, there is.
Next up, another very nice piece of news that came out this week. Vincent D'Onofrio will be back as the Kingpin in Daredevil Season 3. Well, yes. Duh, I hope he is.
Yes.
I'd be really disappointed if he didn't. It's like, oh yeah, Daredevil Season 3, no Kingpin, but you built him up so much in Season 2 and his big revenge arc.
Yeah, I'm so glad he's going to be coming back.
A lot of people given that imagery at the end of Defenders where, Matt is being taken care of by his nun mother and everything. That's led a lot of people to assume, oh shit, is Daredevil Season 3 going to be like an adaptation of Frank Miller's Bourne? Is that going to be the broad strokes?
Well, it looks exactly like it. The last scenes in that were page for page, basically, for that. Pretty
awesome. And hey, who does he fight in Bourne? Oh, Nuke. Who did they set up in Jessica Jones? Nuke.
Ooh, it's all paying off.
That would be super awesome, because again, it's like, Daredevil's fought some strong people. He's fought demon ninjas and shit, but like actually fighting a dude with superhuman strength and everything, that would be kind of awesome.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
And also too, in Bourne, he barely wears the costume, and the Netflix show seemed to love that, so there you go.
That's true.
They'll blow up his house, they'll blow up his costume, and he'll have an excuse to not wear it till the final episode.
You have to go back to the black and the headband and everything.
Oh, the Under Armour, yeah. Which everyone seemed to love the Under Armour costume.
Yeah, oh god, there was a time there for when everyone was dressing up in it for the Halloween and...
I guess because it's easy. That's why people love it. It's so cosplay accessible.
It is. It really is.
To which me and my tracksuit loving mind, I'm like, well, actually, in the comic, he was wearing a black tracksuit and a thing over his head, so it's technically not correct. Look, Daredevil, next season you can borrow my tracksuit. How about that? It'll be huge on you, but you can wear it. He's just stumbling around in a tracksuit that's too big, trying to hit people. Why are the pockets filled with Snickers? Because I like a snack. Also, I expect those Snickers back, Daredevil. I'll know if you've touched them. I've counted them. Yeah, I think that's awesome that Vincent D'Onofrio is coming back for Daredevil season 3. Regardless how you feel about Marvel, Netflix, and how it ultimately culminated in Defenders, no one can deny that Vincent D'Onofrio is one of the best goddamn things to come out of the Marvel shared universe thing.
Oh god, yeah, his character was amazing in that first season.
Oh yeah, like so much to the point that he overshadowed Matt Murdock. It was hilarious. He was so good. It's like, yeah, Daredevil, you're cool and everything, but when's Kingpin gonna be on screen?
Yeah, and the way they did it in that show, they don't show him for a long time.
Oh yeah, they make him like the freaking shark in Jaws. It's like you get just enough of him.
Yeah, everyone's talking about him, but you never see him.
Mm-hmm. Really good. I wonder too, it'll be interesting because as I mentioned, like season 1 it felt like Kingpin stole the show. Season 2 it felt like the Punisher stole the show. Who's going to steal the show from Matt Murdock in season 3?
Or Kingpin again, or whoever they get as the villain, Bullseye.
That too.
Something.
That's right. That would seem to be the trajectory. It's like, okay, it's the third one, cast the other big villain.
Yeah.
Hell, they might blow everyone's mind and be like, oh hey, season 3, guess what, Typhoid Mary.
Yeah.
We're going full superpowers. We're doing a crazy X with split personalities, and every split personality has a power. How about that?
There we go.
That'd be good too, because it would also kind of force Matt Murdock to confront his sex addiction thing and his weird relationship with all the women in his life, which is fitting because his mother is in that season. Hey, Foggy, do I have a problem with women? Do I have a weird hang-up thing? Yes, you do. It's like you're constantly trying to replace the love your mother never gave you.
It's kind of weird.
Oh, no. I'm like that movie Shame starring Magneto. Yeah, you are. Oh, no. That's the real villain of Daredevil Season 3, sex addiction. He's got to conquer that, but he just can't beat it with his billy clubs. Damn these abstract concepts. Hey, Jess, how's your drinking problem going? I'm in a good place with it. My drinking problem is only a problem for everyone else. It's fine for me. But yeah, so that's the Daredevil news, everyone, and I thought that's ultimately pretty cool. Veering things back to DC for a second, The Raid director, obviously, of course, those really awesome Indonesian martial arts movies. Yep. Apparently, they're eyeing him for the potential Deathstroke movie. Yet again, that may or may not be in continuity, because Deathstroke was supposed to be the villain for The Batman. In fact, they costume tested him before anything else. But then the actor Joe Manganiello said that he didn't know if he was going to be in the movie anymore, but now he might be getting his own movie.
Yeah, well, I think originally he was meant to be in Justice League, and that was sort of to set him up for the Batman film, but then that got pushed back and fucked over with all sorts of shit. And yeah, then he wasn't in the Batman film, and now he's getting his own film, though in true DC fashion, they announced it long before it's even beginning production.
Yep.
And just to put into that long list they have of movies in production or coming up into production. So until we get like an Instagram shot from the director on set with the camera in front of him ready to press the button, I will not believe it's happening.
Yeah, same here. Man, I would love to follow the text or email chain for this guy where it's like, hey, Joe, guess what? We cast you as Deathstroke. You're going to be in Justice League. Hey, Joe, sorry, you're not going to be. We've reshuffled. There's a lot of stuff going on with the director right now. We're getting Whedon in. We're doing some stuff. But hey, you're still going to be the villain in The Batman, though. And in fact, here, look, here's your costume. We're going to show it. The internet's going to love it. You're going to break the internet. Yeah, so Affleck might be out after Batman if he does it. We don't know. We've had to rewrite the script twice now, and there's not really a place for it. But maybe you'll get your own movie, though. Anything can happen. Yeah. Just a roller coaster of emotions, I'm sure, for this poor man.
Yeah. I can't imagine. And I imagine this is something like that was in maybe his deal or something. Like if one movie doesn't happen, he'll get to be in something else or something.
I think Deathstroke is interesting enough to hold up his own movie, but you need a DC universe around him, though. You just can't plop him down.
Yeah, and they're going to run into the problem where the general audience who doesn't watch anything is going to say, "Hey, why is Deadshot white now?"
Yeah. Or hey, isn't this the Arrow guy? Isn't he the Arrow villain? No, he's not.
Yeah. Or they're going to say that, yeah, where's Manu Bennett?
Yeah, exactly. Which, God, Ezra Miller, I'm sure will be having the same problem too.
Oh God, yeah.
See, they should team that up. That should be a Flash Deathstroke movie, and it should be the, hey, we're not the guys you know and like from TV.
Yeah.
But join us for an hour 20, and we'll try and make you like us.
Yeah, and the problem they run into as well is like, how they're going to make it. They're obviously going to make it really violent, but how are they going to separate him as a villain compared to like as we said before, Batman who uses guns, or Superman who kills people, like.
When everyone else is so violent already, how do you top that?
Exactly.
Again, I really don't know how you do that. I mean, I guess you could do the Christopher Priest thing and just show him as a shitty dad, like make it a weird like family drama story. But you can do that story in like 20 minutes. What do you do for the rest of the movie? I don't know if I want to watch a whole Deathstroke movie that's basically just his origin as Slade Wilson. I mean, he's not really Deathstroke until he puts on the mask, until his kid's throat gets slit and everything.
Yeah, and the problem with that is as well, people will say, oh, this is just like Deadshot's story and Suicide Squad with his daughter and their family and everything.
Just slightly different, yeah, I mean. It's kind of a no-win scenario, and then it's like, okay, so, well, who's he going to fight in the movie, though? I mean, Deathstroke doesn't really have a lot of villains, per se, and, I mean, you can't set him up against the Teen Titans, his most interesting adversaries, because you haven't created any of those characters yet.
No. What you do is you just make it like an action film. He's got to kill a certain number of people, like targets. He's got a bunch of targets he needs to kill for, I don't know, someone, Amanda Waller or something.
I'm sure Deathstroke plus Taken is on a whiteboard somewhere as well.
Yeah, or some DC exec just saw the Raid 2 and said, can we put that guy in like a Deathstroke costume and then that's it? Not even change anything?
Which honestly, I would be fine with that because the Raid 2 is fucking amazing.
It is. It's a really good film.
Again, if you've never seen the Raid 2, everybody, search the Raid 2 kitchen fight. It's probably one of the best, most nerve-wracking fight scenes I've ever seen in anything.
And it's not shot like a generic action film where you can't see anything. You can see everything.
It is one of the most impressively shot action movies I've ever seen. It's funny, that one came out the same year as John Wick, and everyone was losing their mind about like, oh, the action in John Wick, it's so cool and inventive and amazing. I'm like, yeah, it is. But it's no The Raid 2, though. John Wick, it's the best American action movie made this year. Maybe one of the best American action movies made in a long time. But yo, the fucking Raid, man. Did you see? Dude, he fought a dude with hammers. He fought a guy with a baseball bat. Dude, they were fighting in cars. He fought the whole city. Like, literally, like, people always make that joke, and you see that meme where it's like, well, what if anime was real? The Raid is what if anime was real.
Yeah, the Raid of what if some fighting anime was real.
Again, the only thing they don't do is shoot fire from their fist, but if they make a third one, that's probably what's going to happen. And it ramps up the insanity so perfectly that if, like, when the Raid 3 started and it's like, oh, hey, I can control my chi and do energy blast now, I'd be like, this makes sense.
Yeah, this guy's been through a lot. He could do that.
He fought an entire city in Raid 2. For Raid 3, he can really only fight monsters and demons is the next thing. It's really the only thing that can happen.
He's going to invade another country and take it over by himself.
Dude, the Raid worldwide, Raid 3, he fights literal other countries. Just a one-man fighting machine. God, man. See, now I really hope they do cast that actor, in Deathstroke. It's like, because his backstory is like that of a comic character. It's like he was a trucker who became a bare-knuckle boxing champ, and then the director, I think his name is Gareth Edwards, found him, and it's like, dude, I should totally put you in a movie.
Yeah, and he put him in all these movies.
Yeah, you like kick all the ass. I need to put you in something. And indeed, he proceeded to kick all of the ass.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if they hire that guy again and make him a villain in the film.
That'd be fine by me.
Yeah, or I say villain, but really it's just another shitbag.
Yeah, I mean, really, in Deathstroke, it's shades of black and gray is all it is. It's like, well, you're slightly more evil than Deathstroke just because he was the one who got paid to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, speaking of villains and speaking of shitbags, famous character actor Ben Mendelsohn is apparently in talks for Captain Marvel to take the big main villain role.
I'd be okay with that.
I'd be fine with that too, and because we're dealing with Skrulls, I wonder, could they get Super Skrull, or is that still tied up in Fantastic Four's whole dealy?
I think that's probably tied up, and he's probably going to play like a commander of the Skrull army or something.
Because the way I read it, it's they can't have any of the Super Skrulls who have already been created. But I think if they were smart, there's a little loophole where it's like, well, what if we create our own brand new Super Skrull?
Okay, then if they could do that, then yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Because there's been multiple Super Skrulls to have the title. I wonder if they could get like really interesting with that and be like, oh, it's a legacy character. We just created our own.
Yeah, they could probably do that.
I think that would be really cool, and I'd be fine with Ben Mendelsohn all painted green and shit and transforming into cool stuff.
Yeah, chewing up the scenery.
That'd be fine, but maybe they'll make him like the Skrull Emperor. I could see that.
Yeah, something like he's rolling Rogue One.
Yeah, oh yeah, that'd be fine too. Yeah, this is good. Actually, hey, speaking of his character in Rogue One, they referenced him in Rebels this week.
They did too.
I loved that line so much, and also, what is it? They brought Saw Gerrera back, which means they brought Forrest Whitaker back this week.
Yeah, he's such a good character.
He really is, man. Just he's. It's like, why don't you do more animation, Forrest Whitaker? You have the perfect voice for it.
Yeah, well, he's a big actor, so.
I guess, but that's kind of amazing too. It's like, shit, they got an A-list actor to be in this cartoon to honor his Star Wars agreement.
Yeah. Lots of like people who have been in the Star Wars films have been in the animated series. In Clone Wars, Liam Neeson came back as Qui-Gon Jinn.
Impressive.
They got, who else did they get? They got someone else. I can't remember who it was, but it was someone else from the films.
I wonder if there's a thing in their contract where it's like, if you become this character, you have to honor it at every turn or something.
Maybe.
That's the price you pay for becoming part of the Star Wars cinematic universe.
You have to voice your character in a Kinect game.
No. Maybe they have tiered contracts where it's like, look, I'll come in for anything that's directly connected, but no video games, no like friggin' talking dolls or anything. I ain't doing that shit. Get Troy Baker or Nolan North. I'm sure they'll do my voice perfectly.
Yeah, they probably would.
They probably would. It's just like, okay, Troy, here's who you're mimicking today. All right, I got it. And that's why he earns the big bucks. In an industry where technically you don't earn all that much because you don't get residuals.
No.
There was a great, I think it was like a New York Times article where they interviewed one of my internet crushes, Ashley Birch, who just won an Emmy recently for her voice work. And like she broke it down, and it's like, yeah, this is how kind of shitty the industry is actually. You got to work sick, you got to work through all this, you don't get hazard pay, you don't get residuals, you don't get anything that other actors get.
Yeah, it sounds like a really shitty deal. But
it sounds like
people do it because they love it.
Exactly, and that's probably one of the worst and best industries to be in, where it's like, I do it because I love it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you do it because you love it, oftentimes you'll get more work from it because you'll come in and just do the work.
And also true, it's like, most working voice actors don't do just video games or just cartoons. They do like everything.
Oh yeah, everything.
What was it? David Kay, who I talked to, who's a Canadian guy. He's done a shitload of anime. He's Clank from Ratchet and Clank. He was telling me one time when I interviewed him many, many years ago back for Comic Book Cast, in an interview that I don't think ever went up, he said, what is it? The real trick to this industry is you want to get really good doing celebrity impressions and like celebrity impersonations. So when that celebrity doesn't want to come back for like A&R, when they don't want to come back to like fix fuck ups and everything, they'll hire you to come in and fix their fuck ups. Like David Kay, if you've ever listened to his stuff, he does an amazing Christopher Lee impression.
Yep.
Like pitch perfect, and he's like, oh, Lee is one of those actors, he'll only do it once. Yeah. And if anything's wrong, they pay me to come in and fix it in post to try and sound like him.
Yeah. I saw the other day I saw that they did an episode of Justice League Action, and I don't know whether you saw it, that with Mark Hamill, and they had the Joker voiced by Mark Hamill teaming up with the Trickster voiced by Mark Hamill, kidnapping Mark Hamill played by
the
Mark
real
Hamill,
actor,
being saved by Swamp Thing who was voiced by Mark Hamill.
That was amazing. That was like part of their like little short series they have.
Yeah.
But that was excellent. I'm like, man, I wish this was a full 22 minutes, but I think it might have get grating after 22 minutes. This is just as long as it needed to be.
Yeah, it was great. It was so good.
It shows what a talented dude he is, and Swamp Thing even makes a little inside baseball joke at the end, because Mark Hamill saves himself by doing impressions of the Joker and the Trickster. And Swamp Thing says, you see, you only thought Mark Hamill was a great dramatic actor. Little did you know he's actually a very talented voice actor. And the Joker, what's voice acting? See, the only person they were missing from that is they didn't work in Solomon Grundy, because people forget Mark Hamill also voiced Solomon Grundy in Justice League.
Yeah, they could probably have done that.
Then it would have been all four. But yeah, that was really impressive. That was really clever. I'm like, they need to do more things like this.
Yeah.
Can Batman run into Kevin Conroy at some point? I'd really like that he needs Conroy's help to solve a case. Actually, you could do like a whole updated version of Beware the Gray Ghost, only you change it around a little bit, and instead of Adam West, it's Kevin Conroy.
Well, you couldn't get Adam West now anyway, so...
Yeah, that's true, exactly. That's why if they ever do another Gray Ghost bit, I think Kevin Conroy should voice the Gray Ghost as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's some good stuff. From there to something that isn't so nice, but it's something I figured we could talk about because it kind of goes both ways, and I kind of picked these two stories because they kind of line up in an interesting way. Imax put out a statement this week saying they regret putting Inhumans in theaters.
And I don't think anyone disagrees with them. I don't even think like Jeff Loeb or any of the people at Marvel agree with them.
No one at Marvel had a rebuttal to this, which is like, that's ouch. That's like, I feel bad for the actors involved and like the craft service people and the seamstress people, where it's like, ow, everyone regrets us.
I feel bad for the actors because they are really good actors. I know that.
Right.
And the guy playing Black Bolt is a really good actor, and he's really good in the show when he appears, if he appears.
Yeah, he's actually putting work in there. Like he wants to be Black Bolt and other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I skimmed the article, but there was a lot of words, like a lot of like corporate speak, where they're like, "Oh, we greatly misinterpreted shifting trends in the youth market and in the film market. We will be more conservative in the future." Which they're basically like, "Yeah, we fucked up. We thought this one would be good. We saw Marvel and assumed it was a home run. It wasn't."
Yeah.
And like other stuff where it's like, next time we will offer more research into the so you weren't paying attention is what you were saying.
It didn't seem like it, because when I watched those first two episodes, I'm like IMAX paid for these don't look good. These look like just normal TV show episodes.
Yeah. I'm sure they're like, yeah, we greatly misinterpreted shifting genre tones, and also where did all our money go?
Yeah, that's a good question. Where did it go?
Where did our money go, Scott Buck? Because we don't see it on screen. It looks like you took our money and went to Hawaii. What the fuck?
I'm convinced that's what it was. It was convinced Scott Buck wanted to go to Hawaii, and he said, "Oh, we'll shoot Inhumans there, and it'll be good, and it'll look good."
Okay, look, we're looking over the expense report for the filming of Inhumans. $2 million on bar tabs. What the fuck? $4 million to Candy. That's Candy spelt with an I, by the way. Yeah. Again, I would love to see the expense reports from Inhumans. Again, where did all this money go?
Yeah.
That's sad. That's just unfortunate. That's really, god damn it. And also, just, I know we mentioned this before in our TV episode, but Jesus Christ, Scott Buck, you gave Marvel their first two black eyes in Iron Fist and now Inhumans.
Well, I know he's definitely not coming back.
No. He ain't coming back for nothing.
And if he does, I know the internet's just going to throw a shit fit until they hire someone else.
I would.
Yeah.
Now, hey, I didn't watch the show this week, but didn't they kill Gorgon this week?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, so it's stupid on top of everything else. It's bad and it's dumb.
And they killed him. Yeah, they killed him in a really stupid way as well. Like
I'm never gonna watch
just
it.
some
How did they?
prefab roof fell on him after like
Really?
this guy who has like a faceplate that if he moves it shoots like a blast out was gonna like blow up the building with everyone in it, and he like they were tying him up and he somehow got his hands out. I have no idea how. They weren't paying attention to what he was doing and he brought the roof down on him and it killed, quote unquote, him.
So, like, the toughest Inhuman, like the Wolverine of the human Inhumans, gets taken out by a fucking roof.
Yeah, yeah, and it was kind of his own doing as well because he did like the stomp thing he does, and it like destroyed everything. So I'm like, why did you do that? Why didn't you just kill the guy?
I must have missed that issue right there where the Inhumans fight their deadliest foe, prefabbed Roof Man.
Yeah, yeah, it's the deadliest, the worst Inhuman ever.
I mean, hey, like some Inhumans get some really lame powers out of the deal, like, oh god, I'm a roof.
They still haven't gone back to the like a couple of episodes ago. They alluded to the fact that Maximus was going to be going through Terrigenesis, and then like these last two episodes, like nothing's been referenced about that. Like it's like they forgot. Like, oh yeah, he went through Terrigenesis because the episode literally ends with him about to go step into that weird vape box thing.
That's Maximus's other power. He's not Maximus the Mad. He's Maximus the Absent-Minded.
Everyone in the show people forget they have powers and have to be told that they have powers.
Hey, use those powers you have. You know that thing you do? Dude, if I had powers, I'd never forget. I'd be doing it all the goddamn time. Be doing it all over the freaking place. I won't care. Won't care for nothing. Oh man, speaking of superhero TV, I gotta make reference to that. Did you see Flash this week? I'm going to assume you did.
Yeah.
What is it? That villain, Havoc, who they had in there, the actress who plays her name is Sugar Lynn Beard, and she used to host a Canadians kid show here in Canada on YTV. She was like, you know how like on MTV and stuff, they have the VJs who play videos?
Yeah.
She was like that, but for cartoons.
Okay, then.
And it blew my fucking mind to see her in Flash. I was sitting there for 15 minutes, and I'm like, who is this high-voiced, screechy woman, and why is she so familiar to me? It drove me insane for, like, the first 15 minutes, and then I'm like, is that Sugar from the Zone? Oh, my God, it's Sugar from the Zone. And then, like, all the lights started going off in my head, and I'm like, yes, of course. What is it? The show was filmed in Vancouver, so of course they grabbed a Canadian actor.
Yeah, it's filmed Vancouver, so yeah, it would be all Canadian crew and cast and whatnot.
Of course, like that just blew me away so hard. I'm like, man, what a freaking mind blower. And I know I'm not the only one who had their mind blown by that as well. I'm sure everyone in my age was like, that's the girl, that's the one.
Yeah, and we also Harry returned as well because we can't stay without a Harry Wells.
No, you really can't. As I've mentioned before, he is the like missing ingredient on that show, almost to the point where Cisco says, "What, did you just come over here to be like sour and salty?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's his thing. That's what he does."
Yeah, that's Earth 2's thing.
That's what he adds to the show, man. You need the breakup box. How funny was that? Oh, you don't have breakup boxes here on this Earth?
Yeah, stupid Atlantean plastic.
I love that they imply like so much other crazy shit that exists in Earth 2 that we've never seen.
Yeah, some like proper shit, proper good stuff.
And saying too that Jessie Quick has her own team now. I'm like, really? Are they Titans? What are they?
Yeah. Never find out what they are, except they don't like Harry.
Because I'm old, damn team of millennials killing more industries and kicking me out of my own Earth. Oh, wow, you really are a sour old man there. But yeah, I thought that was actually really funny and a pretty lighthearted, well-constructed episode where it's like, how do you fight a villain you can't punch?
I liked the villain. I really liked the villain.
I like her a lot.
She wasn't technically a villain.
No, she really wasn't. She was a little greedy, but no, she wasn't like a take over the world kind of villain.
Yeah.
And also, it gives like the thinker some more interesting stuff too, to be like, oh, I'm just setting up these scenarios to try and test these metahumans and to try and test the Flash for my own weird
Yeah,
goals.
setting up to test the audiences to what they respond to.
Yeah, really, that's the thinker's great thing. Ah, yes, finally, I have created my most deadly device, the Nielsen box, where I will gather ratings and focus test the audience. Do you like these things? Would you like to see more of these things? Also, how funny is it too? Joe's house almost kills him due to bad luck.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
The house turns into a horror movie. I'm like, is the fucking house gonna kill him? I think it might. Oh no, murder house. Also, too, Joe's new girlfriend. Have you noticed she is tiny? She is very short.
Either she's very very short or everyone else is just really really tall.
Like she was wearing like 6-inch heels next to Jesse L. Martin. Like, oh my god, she's wearing heeled shoes, and she still only maybe comes up to his waist. That's amazing. Maybe he's just a giant, Jesse L. Martin. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they got to do the trick photography to make him look the same height as everyone else.
He's standing behind everyone, like how they do the Hobbit thing.
Yeah. Trick photography. This is the new lore I'm going with now. Detective Joe West is actually a giant. He's actually massive. But yeah, so that was a little TV talk there. I hope you all appreciate it. Our next story, very much in the same vein as the Imax regretting Inhumans. We got a bunch of different stories coming out here. Apparently, both Ben Affleck and Warner Brothers top brass admitted in interviews from the last couple weeks saying Batman v Superman complaints were warranted.
Yeah, I'm glad they finally realized that.
Geez, all it took for you was to have another movie to come out. It's almost like you're trying to like patch things up with the fans who didn't like it. It's almost like you're like, look, we're sorry about Batman v Superman, baby. It'll never happen again. We know how wrong we were.
Well, did you see as well? Like they a bunch of stuff with Batman v Superman happened this week. Apparently, the digital version they've like recolored it or something.
Oh, really?
I saw it on Twitter. I don't know whether it was someone who was doing it or but they said the digital copy of it.
Right.
And they had like screens where it'd have like the original and then like the new uncolored copy, and like they had the nightmare scene and all the explosions were like red, like how the sky in Justice League is red and all that sort of stuff, and then you could actually see things clearly. Everything actually didn't look washed out or anything.
Interesting.
So I wonder if that was like them sort of going back and like, no, it's not dark and foreboding.
If that's an official thing, that's a very interesting bit of revisionist history they're trying to do.
That's some George Lucas shit.
That feels very George Lucas. And what was it? What was another story that came out there where it's like top brass at Warner Brothers disagreed with Zack Snyder's vision but didn't say anything about it?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I know Jeff Johns didn't necessarily agree with what he was doing with Superman through Man of Steel and Batman v Superman.
And that's another like just ouch thing. Like why didn't you say it then? Why did you wait now to where he had to leave the movie under such tragic circumstances? Now it just feels like you're kicking him while he's down. I didn't like the movie either, but still.
Another thing as well, they've actually retconned Wonder Woman's role in Batman v Superman.
Oh, yes, that's right, because, it's like she had no faith in humanity, but apparently she did at the end of her own movie. What happened?
Yeah, so they've kind of... You could tell that movie was written after Batman v Superman was in production and everything, because they didn't know how it was going to play. So now they're this early on retconning stuff, that's pretty bad.
We also don't want to wreck Wonder Woman. We want to make sure people continue to like her because she's the one that everyone genuinely likes.
Yeah. So, and that also begs the question, like, if they're going to retcon that, what else are they going to retcon?
Meh, what indeed. What indeed. But hey, we'll find out soon enough. That comes out next month, which is hard to believe that it's coming out seemingly so soon.
I know. Very, very soon.
Yeah, shocker. Did I have anything else I wanted us to cover this week? No, that's about it for news. I guess we can hop on into what we read this week. It was admittedly a pretty light week, but I enjoyed most of what I read, which is always good.
Yeah, it was a pretty good week. It was pretty solid week as well. I haven't read a bad comic yet.
Yeah, I've liked pretty much everything I've read also. Would you like to go first, or did you go last week?
I'll go first. I think you went first last week.
Okay.
I read Action Comics 990. Joel can't see, but I'm actually holding up the physical copy of it.
Oh, nice, nice. Yes. What is there? More in the ongoing battle of Jor-El, Mr. Oz, and everything else.
Yeah, now I actually thought this was the final issue in it, but there's one more part, so it's a 5 issue
Hmm.
series, and this one was the one that sort of dealt with like the effects of what's happening on the family,
Yeah, definitely.
and especially like Jonathan Kent, who is kind of like what happened with Manchester Black. He's being manipulated, and
He's being forced to question what is the ideology that's been instilled in him by his father. But I like Jor-El finds another angle to it, and he's like, "Look, I just don't think humanity sucks ass because they do. I think your father can't save everyone because of what I know is coming next."
yeah, he kind of very very much alludes to Doomsday Clock.
Oh yeah, like super. Like if there was a sign that said Doomsday Clock, he'd be pointing to it. Cause that's coming, and I don't want you all to die.
Yeah. I don't know why he can't just say what's coming.
I guess they want to have a little bit of mystery in there. I guess they don't want to have both the Jor-El reveal and like, oh yeah, Doctor Manhattan's a thing too, all in the
Yeah,
same pages.
yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting, and he shows John his totally not planet of New Krypton that he wants everyone to move to.
Yeah, it's like some new Earth sort of thing. We don't exactly know where it is. We know it's not in this reality because he mentions this reality is going to get
Yeah.
destroyed. So it's
Well,
outside of reality.
he made it seem like it's not even created yet. Like this
Yeah.
is my proof of concept for a planet I'm going to make. You need to help kickstart it. Can you help me use the internet, John?
Yeah, can we kickstart it? If people don't like fund it, we'll gas Metropolis.
Can people put some money in my GoFundMe account for this new planet?
Yeah, please
Look,
subscribe to our Patreon.
Go fund Planet Bliss. It's a new thing we're gonna do. Oh god, that's almost as funny as like you hear like that flat Earth rapper who had a Kickstarter to be like, yo, I'm gonna make a satellite. I'm gonna send it up into space so we'll finally know the truth about the Earth. And people actually gave him like $5,000, and I'm like, that's fucked up.
I would give him money just to see his face, like when the satellite's up there and it zooms out and the Earth is round, just to see what would happen.
Yeah, really. No, man, I don't believe it. No, you can't trust all those NASA satellites. They lie. I will build my own satellite out of duct tape and tinfoil, and then we'll know. But yeah, Action Comics continues to be really cool. In fact, it's probably the most happening Superman book right now.
It is. It was really cool, especially like the parts of like Clark mediating that little meeting between the two, the
Mm.
rebels and the warlord.
Evil president, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that
It's
was
it
pretty
was
cool.
a very Superman thing. It reminded me very much of like Superman grabs Hitler and Mussolini and takes them to the UN.
Yeah, and then he follows it up with like a Superman 4 Quest for Peace thing where he takes all their weapons and burns them all.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. It's great too, where it's like, well, what's stopping you two from seeing eye to eye? And the warlord's like, oh, they're dirty, unclean peasants. And the rebel leader is like, oh, he's a horrible fat cat, who's hoarding all the resources. And Superman's like, you two find out how to work out with each other, or else so help me God, I'm coming back.
Yeah, and now that if you're gonna fight, you're gonna have to fight with sticks and stones because you've got no guns.
Yeah, really. It's very much like what I like about Superman, where it's like, oh, he's the only adult in a world full of children, and this is like a parent's tough love moment, is what this is.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah, no, don't make me come back now, you two. No more chemical weapons for you. I'm taking your chemical weapons away.
Also, they do a really good job of explaining why the League can't help him either.
Yes, I liked that quite a bit. That said that this Mr. Oz thing is so huge, he had to call in the League and the Superman family and everything, and they're all off busy diffusing other crises.
Yeah, and they don't mention Batman because Batman's busy in Detective Comics this week.
Yes, which actually Detective Comics is great because we see a news footage
Yep.
in Detective Comics that alludes to what's happening in action. I'm like, oh, that's so good, connective tissue.
Yeah, it gives you an idea of when these take place with one another.
Yeah, I think that's really smart and that's really well done. And I'm glad Tynan and Abnett could have talked to each other on this one.
Yeah.
Really well done. So yeah, action, good stuff. Thumbs up from both of us.
Yep.
What else do we have this week? I mean, well, we alluded to Detective, so I might as well talk about Detective, the continuation of evil Tim Drake of the future trying to take down the Bat family in his own weird way.
Yeah, Tim, that doesn't really appear all that much this issue. He's busy seeing Stephanie and Alfred and whatnot.
Which I love that. It makes him such a complicated villain where it's like the Bat family are so ready for him to attack. They get ready for an attack, but the attack never comes because he's busy reminiscing and seeing old faces that he hasn't seen in forever.
And that's what Batman said he would do. It's like if you came from another Earth that was full of darkness and despair, and you came to a place where that didn't happen, that everyone you love is still around, you would want to revel in that a little bit as well.
Yeah. Great scene for Alfred too, who doesn't meet this guy as a villain. He actually hugs him and everything, and evil Tim asks him for advice.
Yeah.
And his motivation is so compelling and interesting too, where it's like, this Batman mantle is killing me. I would do anything to free myself of it, but to do it, I might have to do something really terrible.
Yeah, like kill Batwoman, but it seems like.
Yeah, which is such an interesting idea, too. And when I talk about Nightwing, the New Order this week, there's actually a little bit of connective tissue between those ones as well.
Yeah, there is, too.
Which is really interesting, too. I get the feeling Tynan and Higgins talk to each other on that one as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a really well-done story, and they really build up Evil Tim as a suitable bad guy to be like, look, in my Earth, you're all dead, but I spent about 15 solid years running simulations so I could learn to take you all down if I needed to.
Yeah, I like when I think it's Dick, Jason, and Damian come to face him, and he's like, "You never measured up to be Batman. You all sucked."
Yeah, you all sucked. It's heavy as my head that wears this cowl. And I'm like, wow, spent 15 years practicing simulations to fight people who are already dead. Wow, it seems if nothing else, Tim inherited Batman's weird, obsessive-compulsive, be-prepared-for-anything streak.
Yeah, and that coupled with, Tim being basically smarter than Batman.
Yeah. He becomes a really terrifying combatant. And then really, if that wasn't enough, already I'm loving the story. Then they take it to the next level and be like, oh, what did I do? I uploaded Brother Eye to the Bat computer.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And it's funny, when everyone saw that, it's like, hey, Joel, when Brother Eye showed up again, did you have horrible, non-flashbacks to Future's End? No, because this was good and I was enjoying it.
Yeah, this was a good story.
Yeah, don't bring Future's End into this. Never bring Future's End into anything. But yeah, that one was rocking. Both detective and action are in the middle of probably two of the best stories they've told.
Yeah,
since
in a long time.
Since this DC Rebirth era, they're telling some of their best stories. For some reason, if you haven't been reading action and detective, get on that.
Yeah, definitely.
They are top of the heap, top of the pile.
Yeah.
What else did you have, Matt?
Well, I talked about it just a little bit before. DC House of Horror issue 1.
Yes, their special Halloween anthology that they did. I actually missed this one.
Yeah, this was really cool. This is a Halloween anthology, but it was also like an Elseworlds anthology sort of thing. There's a bunch of different stories with, and I took some issue with certain places that I'm not going to mention, saying that they didn't take advantage of using horror-based characters, and I'm glad they didn't, because that would have been too obvious. This one, they had stories. They had a story with Superman, which sees Martha Kent take the spotlight and have to fight an demon alien with a red cape. After it kills Jonathan Kent.
Wow, yeah. Killing children, strong start.
Yeah, that was really cool, and they had a really cool Wonder Woman one where the Wonder Woman aspect, the Amazonian, has possessed a girl and is making her kill people. I kind of read the Green Arrow one, and the Green Arrow one seemed really cool. He was some crazy archer. He'd kidnap Dinah Lance and put her in a cage and stuff, and it was kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, the Harvey Dent one was pretty fucked up. He's a serial killer who cuts people's faces off. to
Nutty.
show their true faces. They all wear masks and stuff like that. And at the end,
Oh.
while he's doing this, the city's being attacked by like some giant monster, and it like burns half his face off, and he becomes Two-Face.
Okay, see, now you're selling me on this. This one sounds wonderfully weird if I gotta get some Halloween reading in.
It really, they didn't water it down at all. I'm actually very surprised, and I think a lot of people were as well, because there's like scenes of like Harvey Dent carving a kid's face off, and like a little demon kid blasting Martha Kent's face off, and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
I'll check that out, and then I'll also get like Hack/Resurrection that I missed from this week.
Nice.
So yeah, Hack/ came back. Although I don't think Tim Seeley was writing it, so I'm like, oh, well, it's his baby if he's not writing it.
The funny thing as well, about this horror thing, it was, I think they were written by like the people in that DC Workshop thing, like the new writers.
Oh, they did the Christmas one last year.
Yeah, I think they did this one, but everything was scripted by the guy who wrote Future's End.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Well, Future's End had like 1 million writers on it, so I mean...
Yeah, what was his name? Keith Giffen.
Yes, Geffen.
Yeah.
Geffen, who is not a bad writer. Heck, he was the guy who gave us Blue Beetle. I mean, I don't think anyone... Or gave us the Blue Beetle that everyone likes. But I mean, I don't think anyone could do anything with the shit show that was Future's End, with 100 writers and no interest and no end in sight.
No, 52 issues. Jesus Christ.
God, I can't believe I read every single one. God fucking damn it. And just the characters that they're like, okay, well, look, but maybe we'll just introduce a character here who might be big later. They introduced like 2 British twins called Banger and Mash. Get it? And like they had like 2 pages dedicated to themselves. I'm like, oh, we're never going to see these characters again. And we never did.
We never did. They died.
Everyone died in a future that may or may not happen. It's amazing too, because like Future's End was like so pointless. Like as soon as it was over, it's like, hey, what would happen if the Earth 2 characters like joined the main universe? Oh, you don't like that? Okay, then it never happened then.
Yeah, and their world gets destroyed.
Yeah, and their world get destroyed, and they continue in their own book until they don't anymore. I guess with 3 DC ones in a row, I should do a Marvel one. I read the 2nd issue of Despicable Deadpool this week.
I'm behind on this, but I did read this issue.
You could totally start for it, because I know people were asking me in the comment section. Don't let that big 288 number thing scare you. You could easily start at 287. This is a new arc, and they're making it very new reader friendly.
Awesome. So he's back to being a villain.
He's super a villain.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like, this is what it really came to me in this issue, is that like, wow, we're 2 issues in. Really, the hero is Cable. It's all about Cable. He's trying to like actually get stuff done and save people. Deadpool just doesn't give a shit anymore.
No.
In fact, like, Cable very nicely tries to save all the time cops who have him locked up after Deadpool tried to kill him the first time. Yeah. And he's like, look, you got to let me out of here. You got to arm me, because Deadpool will not stop when he gets here. And indeed, he doesn't.
Yeah. And as well, it's not just something like a character just changing on a dime because of Marvel Legacy. They actually had a build-up to why it happened. Like, he got so fucked over with Secret Empire and everyone fucking him over that he said, screw it, I'm going back to being a villain.
Yeah, he just doesn't care anymore. Although, it's funny, I think legacy or no legacy, I think this is the story they were going to tell anyway. I just think Deadpool is in that sweet spot where it lines up perfectly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, we were going to do a big change of status quo anyway after Secret Empire, so let's just slap Despicable on there and call it a day.
Yeah. Now, I wonder if he'll become funnier again once the movie comes out.
Yeah, because he's been decidedly very unfunny for the last couple issues. Like, funny things have happened, but he hasn't been funny.
Yeah.
The standout moment is, of course, because Deadpool, to travel through time, he stole Cable's robot arm. And Cable's like, you dumbass, you really don't think I put, like, safety things in place in case the arm ever got taken off me? So he says, like, the magic trigger word, and then the arm just starts punching the shit out of Deadpool while it's attached to him.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
That's good. I'm like, all right, in an issue that's ultimately been pretty dark and depressing, that's a funny joke.
Yeah.
I wonder, too, if moving forward, I think, the trajectory for this story is, well, they got to team up, right, to fight Strife, because he's, like, the real villain behind all this.
Yeah, as hinted at in his Secret Empire tie-ins.
Yeah, although maybe they won't though, because like Strife gave him a list of three names, and the first
Mm.
one was Cable. I really want to know who are the other two names on that list. Who does Strife hate more than Cable?
Yeah, hmm, I don't know.
Also, too, at some point, Agent Preston's got to come back because Agent Preston didn't die. She just got like deactivated and cut up into a bunch of pieces. Eventually, someone will reassemble those pieces.
Yeah, yeah, someone will find her and stuff, and as well as like, we still got to find out about the mystery of Coulson as well, like what exactly
Yeah.
happened there.
Yeah, for real. Well, I mean, seemingly he's dead, but I mean, he's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and there's a bunch of stuff they could do.
Yeah, yeah,
It would be funny to see Coulson come back, maybe in time for the new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, to be like, look, S.H.I.E.L.D. fell apart, but I'm starting my own S.H.I.E.L.D. like group now.
that'd be pretty cool.
And oh, look, I cast all your favorite people from the show.
They all
Isn't it?
survived.
They all survived, and we're going to live in the Deadpool book now. It would actually be really interesting to see Preston come back and come together and be like, no, now I'm going to hunt my friend Deadpool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I want to see him brought to justice for all the crimes he committed. That would actually be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I could totally see it going in that direction. So yeah, that's Despicable Deadpool, everyone. It's pretty cool.
yeah, it's a pretty cool series.
Pretty cool series. I like what's going on there. What else did you have, Matt?
I'll look at my list here. Um, I didn't really read a lot of Marvel books this week, so
Oh, didn't you?
no. I had all new Wolverine issue 26.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. What's happening in the world of Wolverine?
Yeah, so we've been getting these new villains over the last two issues called the Orphans of X, and
Ooh.
we don't exactly know who they are because they haven't really had much time in the books yet. But we know they are related to Sarah Kinney, Laura's mother,
Interesting.
who returned last issue. Apparently,
Oh, shit.
she survived her death, and these Orphans of X have been keeping her alive to find out ways to try and kill Laura. And
Interesting.
one of the ways they find out is obviously the Muramasa blade.
Ah, of course.
Yeah, and that becomes sort of like a big thing, and obviously because Darkin is involved.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Darkin had got kidnapped by this cult, and he escapes this issue, and he's missing one arm, and so he's driving around escaping them, and we learned that the cult is using Sarah as like a Trojan horse. They can like see through her eyes, like, and
Interesting.
she's with Laura and all the other ones, so they know where they are and everything. And we don't exactly know what their plan is though, because they keep disappearing. Like when they approach Laura, they disappear. When Darkin runs to Laura and everything, he says people following him, but no one's following him, makes him look crazy and everything. And yeah,
Which he basically already was.
yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty cool book because it's bringing back all like their family members and stuff. And Gabby has some pretty cool stuff because Sarah's technically her mother.
That's right.
She's a clone of Laura. So
Yeah, of course.
she's like, we're gonna have some intense mother-daughter sessions. And for all the times that I didn't have a mother and everything, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to happen, especially with the Muramasa blade, since they've been building that up. Because obviously Darkin fought Logan with it, and also his claws were made out of it at one point and everything. So yeah,
lot of history there. That sounds awesome.
yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I had Amazing Spider-Man this week to keep on the Marvel thing. Issue 790.
Okay.
This issue is kind of interesting because it deals with Peter Parker and Parker Industries needing to liquidate their assets to pay off all their lawsuits and everything now that the company has gone completely belly up. And guess what one of those assets was, Matt?
Was it the Avengers Tower?
No, close though, the Baxter Building.
Yeah, the Baxter Building. Yeah, that
which they turned into the new Avengers Tower.
This was hinted at in like an Avengers issue a while back.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has to sell it, and understandably, Johnny Storm is right pissed with him, being like, "Hey, didn't you tell me like 3 or 4 years ago that you were gonna keep this place safe, and you commissioned a big statue of me and the Fantastic Four in the lobby, and that it was gonna be here for us when we all came back, aka when we deal with Fox again?" And he's like, "Yeah." About that, with New York real estate prices the way they are, I really couldn't say no. Could you like try and see it from my point of view, please?
It's like in that Avengers issue where everyone was like mad at Peter Parker, and Spider-Man's like, hey, maybe he had his reasons to do this and try to fight for him, and it's like, no, Peter Parker is an asshole.
Yeah, I kind of like this new status quo where it's like, oh, everyone hates Peter Parker now.
Yep.
Spider-Man is the respite getaway from Peter Parker and not the other way around.
Yeah, so he's going to keep being Spider-Man a bit more.
Yeah, like he wants to be Spider-Man now to get away from his problems as Peter Parker. That's really interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's kind of funny. Where it's like, at least when I'm in the Spider-Man costume, people like me and I can beat up supervillains and everything. It's not as harsh to where, everyone hates and Peter Parker is the menace now. Like everyone's turned against him. And I'm like, oh, that's an interesting little flip of the script there, Dan Slott. I know in my videos for it, in the comments section, no one actually talks about the book anymore. Everyone just says, fuck Dan Slott and he should leave. And I'm like, look, you're all entitled to your opinion, but I'm like, are you reading the story? He's like, he's doing some stuff here. Like, I thought this is what you wanted, everybody. In fact, like at the end of this issue, Johnny even kind of sums up the whole thing and says, hey, your time as a CEO, it wasn't the worst thing ever. Maybe you should have gotten someone to run the company so you could have been a hero and done science. And he's like, oh, yeah, hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? Like that was almost Dan Slott checking himself, where it's like, fine, I guess I could have done it this way, but I didn't.
Yeah.
He even brings back Clash, who was an interesting villain I kind of liked, a reformed super villain who started working for Parker Industries but got fired during Civil War II, became a villain again, and now he's robbing Parker Industries, but not because he wants any money, he just wants to steal back the stuff he invented.
Oh, okay then.
To where he's actually quite sympathetic, and then he helps Spider-Man and the Human Torch from, one of the devices almost blowing up and taking out the city. And then at the end, Spider-Man's like, I can't even chase after him. I mean, he was just stealing stuff that belonged to him anyway. Harry hates that, though. Harry's like, God damn it, we needed to liquidate that to pay off lawyers and shit. I'm done with you, Peter. So now Harry hates him again. So again, everything that's old is new again.
Yeah, back to square one.
Literally back to square one, which is both kind of comforting in its nostalgia, but also kind of like, here we go again for Spider-Man. We're going to get the same type of stories that we always get because we always do.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
He's popular in the movies again, and he's hip and young, so I guess everything's got to reset just a little bit.
Yep.
Although we'll reset it with the same writer who's been writing him for over a decade now.
Yep.
Although, hey, in his defense, though, like, again, for everything people say about Dan Slott, the dude has a story for Spider-Man every month. Like, I have a fan pitch for every character. I have an elevator pitch. I have no pitches for Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's got him pretty well covered.
Like, literally, Spider-Man has done everything.
Yep.
Like, I could start pitching an idea and everyone would be like, no, Ramita did that. Or like, oh, well, here's a pitch. Like, no, they did that back in 86. I'm like, really?
Yeah, that already happened.
Spider-Man is like the Simpsons of comics, where it's like, Spider-Man did it. Spider-Man already did it.
Yeah, he did it years before this is popular.
He's literally done everything. Like, again, people who come up with new stories for Spider-Man amaze me, because I couldn't do it. No. I have a pitch for everybody else. I have no pitches for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I've got literally nothing. But yeah, the new book, I like it. I know that's kind of a controversial statement these days to say you like a Dan Slott comic, but I enjoyed this one for what it was. Now, will it keep up with this? I don't know. Usually that's the thing for Dan Slott. The first couple arcs, when it's fresh, new, and exciting, are good. Then it goes downhill.
Yeah.
Just as long as the Zodiac don't come back and become the villains for like 12 issues. God, that was a boring arc with the Zodiac. Remember that?
I vaguely remember you talking about it.
The Zodiac were lame. But what else did you have, man? What did you have that wasn't lame?
I haven't properly read it, but I flicked through it and it was a load of fun, and that was US Avengers issue 11.
Oh, yeah. Is this like the new Legacy one, or are they going spacebound now?
Yeah, I guess you could say it was the Legacy one. Yeah, it was like a continuation from the last issue where they all go out and to help find Cannonball, who is stuck in like this weird domed city where everyone plays like a hammed up character of like a 50s stereotype.
Oh yeah, it was like an Archie thing. I saw the cover for it.
Yeah, it's funny you should say Archie because he beats people at the end who are literally, Jughead, Veronica, Betty, Archie.
That's awesome. Hey, Cannonball, stay out of Riverdale.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like, and he meets like the guy who's in charge who gets angry at people when they break character.
Oh, so it's like Twilight Zone.
Kinda, yeah, yeah. It's so funny, and the team come in to help him, and they get like 1950s 1940s gangsters sent after them, and they talk like, they're like, yeah, see, we hate them Shia Empire here, eh?
See, that sounds like a blast.
Cars and Tommy guns and everything. It's so fucking cool.
That sounds really good to me. Like again, like I stopped reading USA Avengers because I didn't think it would make it. I'm like, nah, this book is too fun and too weird and too out there. It'll never make it. But it looks to keep making it, so now I want to start reading it again.
It's cool. The only thing I kind of didn't really like was I was hoping they were going to go a little bit more with General Maverick's story, because last issue he got taken out of the Hulk form, which he had been in all through Secret Empire, and because of that,
Right.
they weren't sure whether he could Hulk again, and if he did, it would probably kill him.
Ouch.
Because of his body being as old as it is and everything, and he got turned back, and he's just like normal General Maverick but with red skin.
Interesting.
But this issue he hulked out again. Like they've kind of like solved the issue, which is really a shame, because I was hoping they were going to play with that, like what is his role in the team now that he doesn't have that one skill that made him on the team.
I wonder what they're going to do with General Maverick when they inevitably bring back General Ross as Red Hulk. Because, like, Ross has been off the table for a very long time, since the end of Duggan's Hulk.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We got to have Red Hulk versus Red Hulk.
I would be fine with that. That's a story, right? That story. Who has the right to be the one true Red Hulk?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, but it was a really fun issue, and I can't wait for the next issue.
That's good. See, I kind of want to go back and read that now. Speaking of issues, I'm surprised it took us this long to mention Dark Knight's Metal, but we got Batman the Merciless this week.
We did, and boy, was it a step up from the last issue.
Yeah, from the last two, I would say this one was really, really strong. Not only was this a strong issue, but I would say of all the evil potential Batman futures, this one is probably one of the most believable.
Oh god, yeah, this is one that you could see happening in an arc in a couple of years. Batman becoming the God of War.
It's super fitting, because what does Batman always call his vigilante quest? Oh, my war on crime, the never-ending battle against criminality. I will spend my life warring on criminals. I'm like, dude, you sure use a lot of war talk, don't you? It's like you got a big boner for it or something.
Yeah, and it's like a story that you think would have happened by now, but it really hasn't. Like him donning the God of War's helmet and becoming the God of War.
It's a nice little thing too, because keeping, like, you know, from what they did with Cyborg and Flash and all these other things, or even in the Green Lantern one, which I didn't like, the underlining theme of these Dark Knight books that I take away from it, at least, is that if Batman was given the same problems that his friends on the Justice League face, he wouldn't be able to handle it and he would crack. Because remember, Wonder Woman was the God of War for a bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. If he had any of these problems that any one of the other teams would face, he would go insane.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Batman's super interesting, but he's not the be-all, end-all. If he had to deal with being the God of War like Diana did, or if he had to deal with a Green Lantern ring or the Speed Force, he'd go a little crazy, because at the end of the day, he's just a mortal man.
Yeah, as I said, I think it was in my Green Lantern one, that these stories tell, like, the next step, because we've seen him like get Speed Force powers or a Green Lantern or a Yellow Lantern ring before.
Sit on the Mobius chair.
Yeah, these ones are like what happens the page after the story ends, and that's usually Batman goes fucking insane.
Because Batman has issues to begin with, is the thing, and to give him godlike powers on top of his helping loads of psychological problems and personality defects and everything else, we'd all be fucked.
Yeah, and this issue, it also hit like a swerve, because all through the issue we're sort of led to believe that Ares was the one that killed Wonder Woman, and and Batman was the last one alive, and he put the helmet on to stop Ares, but we find out that Batman killed Wonder Woman to stop her from using the helmet.
Oh.
So he's jealous, and he wants all that power.
Yeah, he's jealous, he's power hungry, and he's a romantic rival of Steve Trevor, because apparently in this world of the Merciless, Batman was in love with Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman only had eyes for Steve Trevor, so he really hates the Steve Trevor of this earth.
Yeah, really hates him.
Speaking of Steve Trevor too, he gets a nice little B plot. Him and Amanda Waller and the heads of the DEO and the Agents of Shade and everything else. They have like a round table conversation to be like, oh fuck, these evil Dark Knights are invading and the Justice League is gone. What do we do? What's our crisis thing?
Yeah, we find out like what would like the actual people who aren't superheroes be doing in this situation, and the answer is, in General Lane's words, is just bomb the fuck out of everything.
Bomb everything. I got a super missile. I call it the Valhalla. It's got Kryptonian tech and alien parts. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's still a nutcase.
I love that too, man. General Lane is such a fun character. That's a fight. General Lane versus General Ross. Who wins that one? Because they're both crazy as shit. I said to you too, I'm like, man, I can't wait for when General Ross eventually finds out he has a half alien grandson.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. It's happening very soon in Action Comics.
God, that's gotta suck for John. Great, both my granddads are fucking insane. I don't have one good granddad. They all suck. Or are dead.
Yeah.
This is horrible. Would it be funny though if they totally swerved you though, and General Lane is just so happy to be a grandfather he doesn't care about the whole half alien thing?
I don't think he's going to find out about the half alien thing, because that means he'll find out who Superman is.
That's right, and that would be horrible too. Clark Kent is Superman. What? I'm crazy. But yeah, that's a fun story too, that they put in all the heads of all these super organizations, because it's like, that makes a lot of sense in a story all about the God of War, because they're all very warlike people, and in fact the imagery at the end is all of them like bowing to merciless Batman.
Yeah, all those people were really cool. I'm really glad as well for the DEO they put Mr. Bones in, because he's just become the DEO's leader in Supergirl, and I like Amanda was like, what the hell are you doing here? You do nothing.
Yeah, nice bit of continuity too. It's so wonderful to see all these weirdos sitting around a table. You've got Amanda Waller, normal person; General Lane, normal person; Father Time, who is a Japanese schoolgirl who has the spirit of an ageless, crazy creature, multidimensional, whatever. Then a skeleton man just sitting there at the table with all these captains of industry and big power players, just a skeleton in a suit smoking a cigar. And I'm like, God, I love comics. This is so comics right now. Only here could you get these things all together.
Yeah.
And not any of it look weird and not any of it be out of place. Just like a Japanese schoolgirl and skeleton man.
Yeah, this is an average Tuesday.
It just happens, man. It is what it is. And that much like the God of War 2, when the Merciless steps on in, he inspires like a bloodlust and everything around them. So all of those people at the table start fighting each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, take your bets. Who's going to win that fight? That's what I want to do. So yeah, the Merciless continues to be cool. Big step forward from the last two Dark Knights tie-ins we had.
Yeah, we've only got 2 left, eh?
Yeah, we got the Doomsday one and the Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah, wow.
Crazy they saved the Trinity ones for last. The Wonder Woman stand-in, the Superman stand-in, and finally the Batman one.
Yeah, probably because they're really important.
They probably are. They're probably super important.
Yeah. Well, continuing Metals talk, I had Flash issue 33, which is the first Bats Out of Hell issue.
Right, that includes Flash, Justice League, and Green Lantern.
Yep.
Which I did not pick this one up this week, so sell me on this one, Matt.
You're gonna have to pick it up. This picks up right at the end of the last Metal issue, where Superman gets sent into the Phantom Zone. We sort of find out what happened to Steel and Flash after that.
That's right, because they were there.
Yeah. We see that scene again from Flash's point of view, sending Superman through the Phantom Zone with the antenna and everything, and they hope he's gonna go save Bruce and everything. And
they're gonna say do the do. He's gonna do the Mountain Dew.
Yeah, he's gonna do the do. While they're doing that, obviously the Justice League are off trying to find the nth metal deposits around the Earth, and they don't have any luck because the Dark Knights attack them and take them all, and then Murder Machine and the Devastator come for Steel and Flash, and they destroy the antenna, close the portal. take Steel, take Flash. Flash gets taken to Central City, and they then get teleported to Gotham, and we find out inside Gotham has been changed into all of the respective Dark Knight's Batcaves.
Oh shit. Okay, that's awesome.
So like Flash gets sent to the Red Death Batcave, and Wonder Woman sent to the Merciless, all that sort of stuff. And they have to fight.
That's a really smart idea.
Yeah, and it was apparently a big plan for from the Batman Who Laughs. It was like his end game to bring them all here and have them fight their opposite number.
Oh shit.
So yeah, that's how like the issue ends, with them fighting their opposite numbers.
All right, you sold me on it. I got to pick this one up now. Don't be shocked if this video comes out near the end of the week.
Yeah, it was really cool. But it was cool because we got narration from like Barry, how he's seen everything. But then when he sees Superman go in and try and save Bruce, he gets that little bit of hope that lets him keep running.
Right.
Yeah, and I found it funny. He remembers Bruce Wayne's words, and they're literally "Run, Barry, run."
I like that's become canon now. It's like, yeah, run, Barry, run.
It was really funny. I couldn't help but laugh at that.
That's good. That's a nice touch. I appreciate that. How many books do you have left? I have like 2 left.
Yeah, I've got 2 as well.
Okay, I'll breeze through these last 2 because we're nearing our usual end time there. Was one of those books Nightwing: The New Order?
One was, yes.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about that then. Issue 3, we're at the halfway point now of this Elseworld tale.
Yeah, and stuff started picking up.
It surely did. We find out that like the quote-unquote antagonist of this one, the actual real power behind the New World Order organization, is actually Batwoman of all people.
Yeah, Kate Kane. She's sort of embraced her father's military background.
Yeah, she's the real muscle. And like Kyle Higgins does a good job explaining that, being like, yeah, as Kate got older, she, thought that, vigilante justice wasn't the proper way to do things anymore. And that if she was going to fight the good fight, she was going to do so within the boundaries of the law. And I'm like, that's really fitting, actually. And also really kind of ties together what's happening in the main universe in Detective, because it's like, oh, she was willing to turn on the entire superhero community to try and bring her idea of justice. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's as I said in my review, it's like they're allowed to explore all these characteristics within the character, but none of them are out of character. They're all within. Yeah. They're all like Kate Kane going to the military, that's been set up in her backstory. Dick sort of going to Tim Drake for help and trying to help people with being Nightwing and everything. And then we got like John Stewart who appears this issue as sort of like the lapdog for Kate, and again he's got a military background, so he would be all for this.
Absolutely. I love that he's part of the corporate justice league. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And he's got like a brand new costume. And generally, I'm just kind of happy to see friggin' John Stewart again. It's been too long.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And they have a really awesome fight where they also still need to justify a reason for Nightwing to win, but I think they do a pretty good job.
He doesn't quite win. He kind of cheats and then gets saved by Wally West.
Cheats super hard. Wally West in a brand new Flash costume, which I like a lot. It's a darker shade of red.
Looks like his was it him who dressed in one? There was a costume like back in the mid 2000s that looked like that.
Yeah, very much, where it's like the Flash suit, but it's a darker shade of red, shinier, so you can differentiate between him and classic Barry. And oh look, Rebel Starfire is there too.
Yeah, Starfire looking like a Mass Effect character.
Looking very much like a Mass Effect character, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And they're in Bloodhaven as well.
Yes, which is another nice touch. Clearly, Kyle Higgins knows what he's doing. Yeah, New World Order continues to be a really interesting, really fun read, and I just noticed your video went up right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it did for New World Order.
Oh, okay then.
I guess you timed that one to go. I was just looking at Twitter to see if there was anything I missed to talk about before we winded it down there. But yeah, that was that one. And you came up with a better title than me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was Grayson Hunted, and I'm like, what is it? Nightwing Feud. That is better. Like the movie The Fugitive. I didn't kill my wife.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't care, Nightwing.
But yeah, that was really cool issue, and I like that they turned the Batcave into like a tourist trap.
Yes, which of course they would.
Yeah, after and the narration from Jake, it explains it so well. It's like, oh, once like Batman's Bruce Wayne's identity got leaked, Wayne Enterprises stepped in and capitalized on that.
And you too can pay $60 to take a tour of the Batcave. Like, it would be $60 American, wouldn't it? It'd be like fucking Sealand or whatever.
Yeah, and then like when you get in there, you have to pay for like stuff like you could sit in the Batmobile, but it costs $20.
$20 and an extra 10 for a picture.
Have your photo taken with the penny.
Oh god, yeah, that would be the thing right there. It's like, hey, take a ride on the dinosaur, but that's 50. Hey, search your name in the Bat computer. Oh no, looks like you have a rap sheet. Batman was looking into you.
Yeah, that's how they find out metahumans. They trick them into using that.
They keep giving them free tickets to the Batcave amusement park. Man, that's a smart idea. I like that. But yeah, New World Order continues to be super cool. I'm interested to see where the next 3 issues will go, especially because, hey, they can do whatever they want because it's an Elseworld story.
Exactly.
They can kill everybody, and in fact, they might, because this is Jacob clearly telling the story many years later to someone else. Where he says, my father back then, his team back then. Hey, he's talking about everything in past tense, so it's been a while.
Yep.
Yeah. What was the last book I read this week? The last one I read, I'll go very quickly on this one. Daredevil 28, the final issue before Legacy takes over.
Right.
This is the big redemption arc for his would-be apprentice and sidekick Blind Spot, who sold his mentor's soul to the Hand in exchange for being able to see again.
Nice.
After getting blinded, and he's about to leave Matt behind, and we see the ultimate torture that the Hand has planned for their greatest foe, and that is they're going to kill him, bring him back to life, kill him, bring him back to life, over and over and over again.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, shit, I can't think of a better revenge than that. I'm going to kill you, then use my demon magic to resurrect you, then kill you again. Because the Hand is one of, if the only thing in like Marvel Comics where it's like, well, how did they come back to life? Hand did it. I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's like the Marvel equivalent to the Lazarus Pit, where it's like Lazarus Pit. All right.
Yeah, we get it.
It does that. That happens. But to think that they use that power for the purposes of torture to kill him over and over again.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Pretty fucked up. Blind Spot eventually figures that, where it's like, I was really enjoying getting closer to my mom and everything, because, we kind of went in on this whole stealing Matt Murdock's soul thing. But I've discovered that she's a real piece of shit, and deep down I'm a good person. And if I leave Matt behind, I'll be a piece of shit for the rest of my life, so I should probably go back and save him. Which he does, and his punishment is, oh, great, I went against the Hand. Oh, crap, I'm blind again. And Matt Murdock's like, don't worry, I'll help you out with the being blind thing. And hey, even more so, I'll help you file for asylum in the United States so you can actually work to becoming a citizen, so you're not always looking over your shoulder as a superhero and an illegal immigrant.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a nice touch. And then the story hits you with like the right hook, because it's like, hey, Legacy's coming. And they say, yeah, well, Blind Spot and Daredevil were touring around like Asia. That was months ago. You know what's happened in New York since he's been away?
Just a little couple of things.
Just a couple. Kingpin got elected mayor while you were gone.
It's like, what?
Yeah, and Foggy has to tell him that over the phone. Matt, you've been gone for months. You know what happened? Kingpin is mayor now. And it's a great picture, too. It's like Wilson Fisk on the paper looking all happy, raising both of his arms. Yeah, I did it. Now, the real question, though, about Wilson Fisk being mayor is how much did Omega Red help him? Was the Crimson Dynamo involved? I think he might be. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Although, shit, I guess there's no S.H.I.E.L.D. around to investigate the results, huh?
Oh, well.
Oh, no. Uh-oh. But yeah, Daredevil is fun. I'm really interested for Legacy moving forward.
Awesome.
It's good stuff. In fact, I think if it's like any of these other Marvel books, if you haven't been reading Daredevil, they seem to be setting this up as a time to jump on.
Cool.
because Charles Soule was very much like, and this is the end of this era. This is the beginning of a new one.
Awesome.
And what was your last book, Matt?
My last book was Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, issue 31.
Yes, this isn't a tie-in, but the next one will be a tie-in?
Yep. Next.
Okay.
Next one in 2 weeks, I think.
Right.
This one was Hal's team up with Superman.
Oh, yes, I saw the cover because Superman was all Yellow Lanterned again.
Yeah, this one followed on from last week's team up with him, has them rescue Hector Hammond from the... I'm going to try and say their name right. They're Krolotians?
Oh, Kroloteans.
Yeah. It's a really weird name.
Do the Kroloteans still speak German? Because that's one of my favorite Jeff Johns jokes, where it's like, oh, why do the Kroloteans speak German? No, they're speaking Krolotean. Germans are speaking Krolotean.
Nah, they speak English.
Damn it, that's one of my favorite jokes. When the Kroloteans first showed up in Jeff Johns' Green Lantern, they were just speaking German for no reason.
But yeah, they've come to Earth to capture Hector Hammond, who they gave the powers to, his powers with his big head and everything.
And we have not seen him in forever.
Oh, since the New 52.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
He was the Superman villain in that.
I remember that. There was a big crossover with him, yeah.
Yeah, and he has been calling for Hal's help, and Hal and Superman arrive to Stryker's Island to find him being kidnapped by these weird little aliens that are putting electrodes in his brains and turning the frogs gay and whatnot.
Yeah, and all that good stuff. He'll need to buy a white for his perineum to keep him safe from the alien germs.
But because they designed his brain and everything, they can control it, and in doing so, they send Hal and Superman into their own minds, into an illusion of what they think is perfect. We don't see what Superman's is, but it involves Mara and Pa Kent. But Hal's involves being part of his family with his brother and his brother's wife and all that, as well as being married to Carol Ferris. Who appears this issue, and Hal knows it's not real or anything, and the illusion tells him as much and tells him to go find the real Carol. And they break out, they save Hector, and Hector ends up killing all of the aliens. And then he kind of goes a bit suicidal because he gets hold of Superman's mind and wants Superman to kill him with his heat vision. So Superman has to break free of that before he ends up killing Hector Hammond. And that
sounds cool.
That was pretty cool. And the issue ends on it's one of those, you're like, why did they do that thing? Because it's Hal about to go see Carol. He's about to knock on her door, and he gets a call from John Stewart. There's I think it was a star blowing up or something. And so you need help. And he's like, I'm a bit busy here. And he's like, Green Lantern, get to it, soldier.
So they big teased you.
Yeah, which is a shame because I really want Carol to come back.
It's funny, they've gotten every other relationship back on track in the DC Rebirth except for that one.
Yeah, I think maybe once Hal comes back to Earth, because at the moment he's not on Earth all that much. So yeah, I think once maybe he comes back to Earth, if he ever does.
I guess it is kind of unfair to Carol to carry on a relationship while he's always in space. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, it sounds like good old-fashioned Green Lantern stuff.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool Green Lantern book.
That's good. And yeah, with that, everyone, we're basically at our normal end time. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching and listening and favoriting and commenting and everything. You make the job worthwhile. Wouldn't you agree, Matt?
Yeah, definitely.
Also, hey, if you want to pick up any of the books we're talking about in trade, or hey, if you want to get anything for the holiday season, which is quickly approaching, both Matt and myself on our channels have book depository links down in our descriptions. Anything you buy off there, small percentage goes to support us and our channels, and it would be much appreciated.
Yep, and that comes with free shipping, so you don't have to pay
anything. Absolutely, which is wonderful when you buy a lot of trades. And hey, be sure to buy lots too, because they only give us the money after we reach $100 threshold.
You can buy lots as well because they're always really cheap there.
They are. They're a great, we wouldn't talk about them if we didn't genuinely love them. Book Depository is my favorite place to buy shit.
Definitely.
It's just that good. So yeah, that's that, everybody. We hope you enjoy the show. As always, if you're a patron, which you can become for as little as $1 a month, you will get to listen to this episode and see the video version 1st, late Sunday night, whenever Matt and I get to upload it, and everyone else, you'll be sure to watch it Wednesday morning at 8.
Yep.
That one comes out, so be sure to mark that one off for you. You can download it, carry it around with you. You can check out the SoundCloud version if you would be so interested. And yeah, this is basically it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Any closing thoughts there, Matt? Anything you want to say to the nice people before we go away?
Not really. Check the links down below, and yeah, you'll be getting this video very soon for Patreons.
Yes, and everyone else will be seeing you same time, same place next week.
See ya.
Yeah, bye-bye.